sit down, make myself a little cocktail, cut up a little gummy right in the hat. I'm gonna call my bookie, Fat Rob, Grand Rapids. Have you met him? No, yeah. He's a priest, so he's a bookie and he's a priest.
I don't know what exactly all happened there, but...
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Alongside Colin Russo, here's Jim Rutledge.
True Rutledge and Hamilton fashion, we're nailing down some things before the show. Primetime Orsheim putting double secret information on the rundown here, so it threw me off. And then he wants himself a date, Colin. Colin Russo, Jim Rutledge with you. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that is Crush or Coors Light.
So our guy Primetime, looking for a date, is now just putting this out here, like reminding us, thanks to David Deerfield the other day, about how we're going to try to raise money for the MAC Fund by getting Primetime a date.
It's for charity, Jim.
It is for charity. You are
Not
a charity
for me.
case.
Well, I mean,
Do you get to decide what this date is?
do I get to, like what the actual setting will be?
Yeah, what the activity is.
That'll be agreed upon between me and whoever happens to want to go on a date with
So it
me.
has nothing to do with the charity. It's just once the date is set, then away you go.
Well, I mean, the charity portion would be that Jim, Gabe Neitzel, Robin Madison, David Deerfield are willing to donate to the MAC Fund, Midwest athletes fight against childhood cancer, if one lucky lady calls to take me on a date.
Lucky lady.
So I just have to, and we were debating, Colin, like I feel like there's more of a process to this than just throwing it out there and then be like, donate money. And so I just want to talk to
It's
someone.
tax deductible, Jim.
Molly Brown, someone to give me permission to just start pandering out here. That's all. I just need someone else to blame in the long run.
Are you saying you think there's like legal issues that could spring up?
I just don't know what we're like. We have all these contest rules, we have all these things. I just want to make sure that we're presenting it right and we could do it because Friday's the last day and today's Tuesday. Is that right?
That is correct. The actual celebrity golf event is this Friday that Gabe is promoting, so we need a quick turnaround here.
We do, but you know what? Right now, I want everyone to think to themselves, or if you're listening, Ryan is looking for a date with a woman. And
A woman. Add that disclaimer.
I said with a woman.
Fine text, fine print.
I said that. So you are, whether it's you're soliciting from the fans, or if they are know of someone.
Is that what we should? Should that be the disclaimer? You have to prove yourself as a Rutledge and Hamilton fan.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but no.
Hey now.
No, I don't care about that. I just mean that. Look, I don't know how. Let's be honest. Brass tacks. I don't know how many women are listening. So let alone single women. So that is. I'm just trying to broaden our ability.
Is there an age range?
Age? Oh.
We
so,
can't get.
So what am I comfortable with?
18 plus. Like that's
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Like,
okay.
yeah,
That's not what I was
I'm
saying.
saying, but I'm just saying
That
that's
one without
it.
What
saying.
is the
Legal, and that's it.
What's the upper bound?
Sure.
We'll go as high as I'd be comfortable with. 45. 45.
I'm actually very offended. Just from like someone who's 44.
Well, Jim, I would not
Jim,
want to
you're
go on a date
barely
with you.
within the
but-
bounds.
Now
Yes.
my wife is not. She's only 42. So I mean, unless I'm not married to someone who's 45, but the way you said 45 like it's ancient is bothersome.
I
to
was
me.
trying to decide between 45 or 50, and 50 is just a stone too far for me. Talking about like
that's fair.
midlife crisis yesterday.
45 is the
5/8
midway
life.
point.
45.
Or no,
All right,
we're already well past
We're
the
gonna
midway
go
point.
21 to 45.
Yeah.
21 to 45 is the ideal age range there, and woman is the other breaker. So if you know a woman who's single between the ages of
It's
21,
not that many rules.
Yeah.
That's doable.
Single
I'm flexible. What can I say?
Yeah.
Let's not start selling yourself right now. So single women who are either listening or that you know between the ages of 21 and 45, we are trying to raise money for the MAC Fund, and all we need you to do is go on a date with Ryan Wollersheim. And there's nothing wrong with Ryan. He's not like...
It's not like a make a like
he's nothing.
make a wish.
Like Jim said, it's two birds with one stone. Two charity cases at once.
Ryan's, by all accounts, a good guy. So Adam Madison chimes in.
I like how Jim doesn't vouch for me. He's like, other people have said Ryan's
Like,
a
I'm
good
not
guy.
putting my name on. Like, I haven't hung out with you, so like,
Fair.
The vibe I pick up from the way that people talk about Ryan Wollersheim out and about socially is that Ryan
He's a good
is
hang.
a good hang, good guy. So, basically, we're trying to avoid if like there's no good reason that Ryan is single.
Jim's gonna get in trouble when
Right.
Ryan's date goes to like wherever the hell you want to go, wherever you go in your free time, and freak everybody.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
exactly. That's what I mean.
Freak everybody out.
Yeah.
What are we implying? Here?
Playing out like a ventriloquist competition or something weird. Like,
Comic book store?
A foot rubbing massage parlor. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the Adam Madison chimes in. Got to give Ryan the biggest blind date contestant #1 intro. That's good. Then we have Rob Madison chimes in, asking maybe you can go risky business style. Rob Madison, that's not helpful. That's not what we're trying to look for with a date here. Dave in Deerfield chimes in. If Ryan selects Ben's blow-up doll in Ben's garage, he rescinds the donation. Because Dave in Deerfield has chimed in. I believe Robin Madison, and don't worry, we're not going to nail anyone down to it, but I know that I am in, and Gabe Neitzel is in. What was the number we came up with?
I think you guys each said $200.
$200 each. We'll donate to the MAC Fund. And I believe Dave in Deerfield said that I don't think his was $200. So whatever you want to, whatever you feel
Whatever
like
you're
you can donate,
comfortable with,
whatever
yeah.
you can donate. But we at least have $400, and then our fans, if they're in on it, we will do it. But we need someone to actually go on a date with Ryan, a woman between the ages of 21 and 45 who is single. That's all. Like that's the bare minimum. And like I
what's the best way to market something like this? To reach, I mean, you could do it through the fans as well.
Yeah, social
What about
media.
like people
Yeah.
within the office? Would that help? Like, not necessarily.
Wait.
Like, do they have friends or something like that?
Yeah,
within
word of
that
mouth
age?
always
Does that
works.
work?
Should
Yeah.
we put up signs outside of like a volunteer center? People who have like
How
good
about we
hearts
just put
already.
you on the corner and you can just
People are
spin a
feeling-
sign?
Okay, well now we're
A
not.
volunteer center. People are feeling giving, and they're like, here's another volunteer opportunity we can jump in on.
It's tax deductible, Colin. Don't you know? I like how Jim added spinning a sign
Yeah,
on the corner. I'm glad you added that caveat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want you to be like the guy selling hot dogs or something like that. But like, do you want a hot dog?
Okay.
That sort of
Like
stuff.
at a baseball game,
Right,
I should
yeah.
just go to a Brewers game and just be like,
Would
"Date
that-
here."
Or like a Mallard game. Wiener, like we don't want like that. You cannot be putting yourself out there.
What would the date
Alex
be?
G says start a Tinder with all the information. Is that a thing you can do?
We were supposed to make one through our social media coordinator, Maddie Hayes. I don't know what happened to the Tinder account. I don't know if it's
I
up.
think that's the best way to find a date.
That makes the most sense.
That seems to. Of course, you think that's the best way to find a date. But like, I would.
Gen Z seeping in.
Yeah, I mean, apparently nobody knows anyone that could call in and just take. I want the. We could do it the Tinder way. I want it like the
Through the fan, via the
experience,
fans.
The
but I wanted
traditional way.
But I wanted to hear a voice on the air, ask Ryan out on the air, and Ryan to say yes. I want the whole experience.
We want it for social.
Audio
So
and
Jim and I are
video.
going to be doing a segment, and we're going to be seeing behind the glass. Ryan's going to be on the phone, kicking his feet, like giggling.
Twirling his hair.
Ryan, get on there right now. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
That'd be fun.
Sadler from Pat McAfee fame chimes in. Since I was the first person that started the idea to help Ryan find a date, and so actually Sadler says he will donate $200 as well. He just says you can't ask your cousin out.
Okay, well, once again, Sadler, we don't need to make it weird. All right, it's
He's
not
just
weird.
setting rules. He's just setting rules.
608
That's a fair
chimes
rule,
in.
fair
Tinder
rule.
is a terrible place. Don't go there. So
Well, for a date,
What would be your date?
what would
You
be
got
my
something in
idea?
mind, or you talk to the, like, what would be the first idea you throw out there?
I think I would probably wait till Thursday, figure out what the High Life Dive Bar of the week is, and then we just go there.
go watch the draft.
Yeah,
And they say,
all 7 rounds.
let me buy you a $2 High Life, and we'll watch
Classy.
the Packers draft Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yeah.
And they say romance is dead. Never mind. I know.
Ryan showing her the ringer scouting
Right,
report.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
look at this guy. He's getting 330 pounds as a center.
Look, in Dane Brugler's The Beast at The Athletic,
Yeah.
he had him at his 5th ranked
Yeah,
center.
let me tell you what Mel Kiper has to say. Do you know that I know someone that knows Mel Kiper? Is that like your lead line? Like,
Oh.
yeah, like when you're out and about, you're like, did you know that I know someone that knows Mel Kiper?
Did you know I work with someone who spoke to Mo Kiper? Jesse Nelson.
I think
actually.
we've kind of bullseyed why Wollersheim's single. Like,
Man, I mean, we might be onto something here.
What are you gonna do? I'll wait till Thursday to get the $2 highlights.
You know what'd be
and
great
go to
too?
a dive bar.
Let's say you go out on a Thursday, Friday first segment, you have her on, or in studio, or just to break down the date.
We could get her thoughts on the first round of the draft, what the Packers did with their pick.
Yeah, well, let's hope we avoid that. But just about the date itself, I think that'd be funny.
Absolutely, and let's be honest. If there is a single woman listening between the ages of 21 and 45, she probably would have better takes than Ryan on the Packers. I mean, if she's
fair.
Yeah, so maybe you could have. Maybe that is the appealing to our audience. Again, we are trying to raise money for the MAC Fund. You can donate what you want to donate, but the hard part is we have no problems raising the money because between Sadler, Neitzel, and myself, we have a guaranteed $600 in, and I believe others have said they will. We're not going to hold them to it until this is actually really going, that if they'll donate as well. But that's already $600 we'll donate to the MAC Fund. All we need is someone to take Ryan Wollersheim out on a date. By someone,
That's
again,
the hard
21
part.
to 45
Yeah.
woman.
Yep.
Look, it's a wide
The
net.
fundraising's the easy part. We just gotta get somebody to go
Somehow
on a
it's
date
easier
with
to
you.
raise money for the MAC Fund, but it's impossible to get Ryan Wollersheim
You know
on a
how
date.
bad I'm going to feel if nobody calls in and none of this money goes to charity? How bad? Like, my self-esteem, haven't had a date in a while. As you mentioned, it's not really happening for your guy recently. So it's like, if it wasn't bad enough already, the fact that nobody, even for charity, for child...
There's young people in the office. I feel like word of mouth could carry quite a bit amongst people's peers and their friends, trying to meet somebody. There's 20 somethings all over the who have. I feel like that's a good opportunity, a good way to kind of
Market.
branch out. Market.
Yeah, word of mouth, yeah.
Word of mouth.
You should
If
go
nobody
get some-
calls in, then have them call
Dan.
in, have them do the whole thing, and then ask you out on air. And
We
Yeah.
could set up a full street team. Honestly, we
There you
could
go.
have a full ESPN
I think
marketing
that's low.
team.
I think that's low.
Low.
Because you take, let's just assume that if you just go up to a bunch of strangers on the street,
Giving out flyers.
a good chunk of them are going to say no, right? Would you agree with this?
Yeah, I mean, I would expect at least 98% to say no.
Just because they're getting cold on the street, out of nowhere, with a flyer.
Like in the wild, Prime.
With a camera in their face, too.
Both you guys that can ask this too. Like in the wild, how often is a face-to-face date
So it's
asked for?
it is a lost art.
Outside of the hours of 10 to 2 in the morning,
That's not a date.
but no, asked
the bar.
out. I'm
That's the
saying
bar.
when you ask out.
Oh, okay.
In person,
That's the bar, yeah.
That's the only time Gen Zs interact with each other, and I guess sort of like a potential mate
So
finding
if
atmosphere.
you were at North and South and you went there for lunch and there's an attractive lady who doesn't have a ring on sitting nearby and you guys are just chatting it up, how does that end if you were interested?
What's your Snapchat?
That seems kind of grimy, to be honest.
Grimy. How's it different than a number though?
For
It's
me,
so much there. It's a maturity thing.
Okay.
again, I'm an old. Snapchat seems nefarious. Why won't you just ask for her phone number?
Fair. That is a little more serious, a little more mature, like you said.
Because
Obviously, I'm not very mature.
If I'm a woman here, I'm wondering why won't you just? What are you sending me that it has to delete?
Oh.
I'm just wondering.
I back myself into a corner. I'm gonna retreat to the other side of the room now.
Go with the number.
This is we role play this.
Go with the
Kyle.
number.
Yeah.
Just honestly, I got to do this for him. If you don't ask for a Snapchat off the start, why won't you just be hey, I'm enjoying this conversation. Would you want to get a cup of coffee sometime?
Oh, wow.
Would you like to go to the Miller High Life Bar of the Week on Thursday?
Well,
Dive bar of the week.
I feel like a coffee is a low threshold. If you met
It's
someone
quick,
out in real
'cause
life,
It's quick.
you
Yeah.
just that's how people in the olden times, I feel that's how you did things. You just
People like me.
you just
Yeah.
were a person.
You're trying to say I'm not a person?
Not you, it's the whole
Are
generation.
you a coffee
Oh.
drinker?
I do like coffee.
Okay. I'm not, so that's an interesting one from my perspective.
Dan Stoughton chimes in. There are some wackadoodle women out there, Ryan. I hope you don't have any pet rabbits.
That's probably a
JB,
story to that one.
Yeah? Rabbits?
JB from the V chimes in. That's a reference to Fatal Attraction, is what Dan.
Oh,
JB from the V chimes in. I think you should increase the age range to 70 or 80. Those ladies tend to have more free time during the day. JB from the V. We want Ryan to take this woman out on a proper date. What I was saying, we were just trying to role play Ryan in real life, and we found out in real time why Ryan does not have any dates because Like you're like, Colin, you're having lunch next to a stranger you don't know, and you struck up a nice conversation, and your go-to is, what's your Snapchat?
Yeah, like an adult conversation in an adult environment.
I was saying as we're kind of walking out, but yeah, I'm assuming
You'd
it's
wait till
somebody
you're
in my
walking
age
out,
range.
like, I love your Snapchat. Or like,
Wouldn't you ask for the number?
Yeah, no, you're right. It makes more sense to ask for a number. You're correct. But I'm also assuming it's somebody in my age range. We're a little more comfortable on Snapchat. That's just kind of the common platform for talking to people.
Are you more comfortable on Snapchat than texting?
Not particularly. They kind of have become the same thing over the past few years.
Sure.
Honestly. Because nobody really sends photos on Snapchat anymore. Now they just use the text portion.
Yeah.
I just feel like a phone, like, honestly, you'd stand out in this way then. You're like old school, like, can I get your phone number? If they
Formality.
said, I don't want to, like, I don't feel comfortable, I'd be like, okay, well, how about a Snapchat? But otherwise, you'd say, like, can I get your phone number? I'd like to continue this conversation sometime.
Be like, do you have a pager? You can page me.
There you go.
Do you live near a payphone?
What's your address? I'm going to write you a letter.
I'm not going to ask for an address.
have a
Now
messenger
that could
pigeon.
come off very creepy.
He's
True.
very good
Yeah.
with addresses.
Smoke signals.
Right. 608 chimes back in. If it makes primetime feel better, I've never been on a date, so he's doing better than me. There you go. Okay.
You said that was 608?
Yep. I don't know the rest. I don't want to give the rest of the number. Maybe I should. Maybe someone will call in, get a second date.
I was about to say, Colin, we could get a few dates
Double
going.
date, yeah. Double the money.
Let's be careful here. I'm going to stumble into a profession that's not legal, so let's not do that. 844
Very good point.
770-3776 is how you get into the show. I would talk to, if someone will actually go with Ryan on a date, I'll talk to our good friend Lee at Rutledge Steakhouse, see if we can at least get Ryan. Well, you have a gift card, so that's already in there for you. But, like, go to Rutledge Steakhouse in Middleton. You can go to Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl Happy Hour. But for a first date, you want to impress someone, take them there. If I was suggesting a first date that you, like, had serious, like, hey, we, in this
I like
scenario,
this
like,
person, yeah.
like, we are hitting it off. Maybe you knew each other a little bit beforehand, and now you're taking them out on that first date. I would say, like, if you took them to the Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl Happy Hour at Ruth's Chris, because, again, it's a happy hour. It's not too...
A little more casual.
Yeah, so you can kind of hang out. During that happy hour, you have a few drinks. Then you can decide, do you want to go into the dining room for a nice dinner? Or we could just stay at the bar and maybe share some appetizers and it's still keeping it light and
Because
easy.
dinner's a formal thing.
It is.
And, you know, that's kind of been aged out in terms of the first date stuff.
Right.
Because, you know, sort of, you know, one-on-one, eating dinner, it can kind of feel like an interview in a sense, you know, just asking
Yeah,
questions
but if
back
it's
and
like the
forth.
one, like I met my wife, it was kind of like a setup, and we had a conversation. We went for a walk, then we went and got drinks, and then and it was honestly like I had to pass all these tests to move on through the night. So it was initially like we just kind of walked
So
around
that's
for
why
a
you
little
do
bit.
the happy hour to see.
Yeah, then we went to the happy hour after the walk, and then after the happy hour, she said, "I'm actually going to meet some of my friends at a local bar for like a concert. Do you want to come with?" So then But then you kind of just knew that this is going well. Like,
Right.
as the night progressed, it was just like, 30-minute walk. Then it was a happy hour. And then
Can't
I got
open with
invited
dinner,
out
'cause
to.
then there's no out.
Exactly. So you progress, Ryan. Are you listening to any of this?
I'm catching all of it. I'm just soaking in the knowledge from one
So the
great
hard
Jim
part
Rutledge.
is we will help you get the date and maybe turn it into something. But we need someone to actually
You need
call in
somebody- yeah, we're
and
getting
ask
way
Ryan
ahead of
on our
ourselves
date. So
on the
right now we have
formality.
$600 committed to the Mac Fund if someone will call in and ask Ryan on a date. In fact, if you want to give us a number we need to raise, I'm going with that too. So if you want it to be $1,000 and then you'll go on a date with Ryan, that's fair. Sorry, Ryan.
Wow.
But I think I'm going to call them a charitable person.
That's an incredibly charitable person.
So like they are. I mean, if they're willing to go on a date with you, they're very charitable. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at greatdanepub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leine's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Welcome back to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Oh, yeah. Round and round, round they go. I get around.
Shout out to Alex G for creating a wonderful flyer. If I hold this up for Ryan Wollersheim. You want to zoom in on that, Ryan? You're a handsome fella.
The zooming effects aren't really working right now, Jim. We're having some problems back here with the video stream.
Well, let me read this to you. Do this for charity. Tax deductible. Rich dudes will donate $600 to the MAC Fund. Some radio dude. And we're mostly kidding about him being a murderer. That last one is a hard sell. Yeah.
I think that hurts you.
Yeah, that one probably doesn't raise the draft stock much, I'll be honest. That probably drives me down to a day 3 pick.
I know it's for a good cause. If somebody called in and said, I'm not going on a date with this guy unless you get $1,200, would that bother you deep down?
I mean, it's
a little backhanded.
It wouldn't make me feel great, no. I wouldn't
it's for
feel
a good
better.
cause, and you don't know if it's for charitable purposes. You don't know if it's just like a little backhanded, right?
I mean, it's very backhanded. Like, not even slightly, unless the person's just that charitable.
There's a silver lining because
it's for the kids.
Doing it with charity.
Yeah. The Adam Madison chimes in, just for charity's sake, if nobody calls in, does Brust blow up Dow go on the date?
Nope.
No, because I just don't think that's the vibe that the MAC Fund wants.
No, I don't think that's the vibe I want either.
It went from fun to tragic. So, yes, if you do, we'll move on off of that. But if you do know someone,
it's not your fault.
Or if you are out there, we can provide a chaperone if you're nervous too. We'll have a social media team there taking some photos.
Yeah, we can have Matty Hayes there. We got to be able to capture this moment
somewhere.
We're gonna be doing play-by-play. That's
with
bad.
the Comrex.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is he asking for a Snapchat, Matt? That's a bad move.
Oh,
he's going backwards. He fumbled. Oh, my God.
He tried to touch your hand at the table. Oh, got pulled away. It's not looking good for him.
Too early, Jim. Too early.
I don't know, Jim. I'm not feeling good about this one.
Yes.
A little Romo.
Yeah, exactly. I liked it, yes. So 844-770-3776 if you want to pledge to donate if Ryan ever gets a date through this this challenge, I guess. And then otherwise, if you want to date Ryan, 844-770-3776. He's ideally looking for a woman between the ages of 21 and 45 with some flexibility on the 45. Maybe we'll go 46, 47. It's for charity.
For charity.
So that's all, man. And, yeah, maybe like we have a younger listener's mom can take you out. Just like, hey, I feel bad.
You're not saying no to a 52-year-old. I'll tell you that right now.
No, I can't. Once again, it's for charity. I am boxed into a corner where whoever calls in, if they meet even like half the requirements, I think we have to do it.
So I think we just changed this 21 plus.
Pretty much.
21 plus, so you can at least have a Coors Light out on your date. 844-770-3776 is how you chime in on that. I do want to talk about the Packers and Goody as a drafter. And before we get into some of the data here, I just want to throw out the question. Basically, what grade would you give Goody as a drafter for his entire career as the Packers GM? Is that how we're kind of putting that together, Ryan?
Yeah, he's had 6 drafts as the Packers GM back to 2018.
Yep.
How would you grade those last 6 drafts for the Packers?
844-770-3776. That's how you get into the show. We're going to do Prospecting the Packers coming up next segment. We also have Jason Wilde. We have Throwing Stones. But Colin, you were looking at some of the history here for Goody, and it's a checkered past.
A checkered for sure. You know, you got to give him his flowers with a couple picks. Like, obviously, there's a couple highlights. You know, Jair Alexander pops out, being a mid-first round pick, still with the team. Jordan Love, of course, we all know how well that worked out. But there's a couple, let's be honest, there's a couple dumpster fires here. One that Packer fans love to hear, Amari Rodgers, 3rd round of 2021. That's a fun one. How about Josh Jackson, the corner from, where'd he go? Iowa, I believe. And 2018, round 2, number 45 overall. They went 2 corners in a row. You know, Jair worked out, I understand. I guess he can't hit on every corner. Josh Jackson was a colossal disaster. That was a rough one. And you got to think about the rest of that 2018. Round 3, Oren Burks.
Yeah, so let's do this right now. So, and Ryan, you can be a part of this as well. Let's, Colin, you and I and Ryan can give a grade to these, and then we can kind of figure out an average GPA, just an overall class. And these are really just the top 4 rounds, but
since 2018.
And that's when he started drafting. So 844-770-3776. You can chime in and give Goody a letter grade for him so far as a GM in the draft. But here are the first 4-round picks from 2018. Jair Alexander, which is definitely a hit.
It's an A.
And then Josh Jackson, Oren Burks, Jamon Moore. So what would you give that class overall? 1 A and 3 Fs in the first 4 rounds. So we're just grading them through the first 4 rounds.
That's academic probation.
Yeah, I would say that's a C-.
Okay.
Maybe D+, if I'm being honest.
All right, let's go D+ then. Alrighty, 2019, Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage. Now, this is off The Athletic. They call Darnell Savage neutral. I call that a miss. If you have a first-round pick, number 21 overall, and you do not
re-sign him,
yeah, to me, that's a miss. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but you missed as far as developing him. I don't want to get you and your feelings about Darnell Savage, current Jacksonville Jaguar.
He's going to have a big-time comeback here in Jacksonville. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I
just say if you just don't, if you draft this guy and you pick and you just
would you call his 4 or 5 years relatively productive?
No, he's very up and down. It was not like a home run for him. So
he played.
He did. Well, regardless, let's call Elton Jenkins obviously a hit. Jay Sternberger a miss there. Those are the 3 picks they had.
This is a C+.
Yeah, I'm good with C+.
C+, B-.
Yes, yeah, I'll go C+ on that one. And then this one's interesting. Okay. 2020, Jordan Love, big hit. Neutral. I would call A.J. Dillon a miss. A second-round pick. The Athletic calls him neutral. I think it's being too kind there. Joseph DeGuara, a miss, and the 4th-round pick was packaged up to get Jordan Love.
So, Jordan Love's the A+. And then the rest of I agree with that. A.J. Dillon's a miss.
Here's the wild card with Jordan Love, and obviously as a player he's good. You traded up within that range. They could have had T. Higgins. They could have had Michael Pittman Jr. They could have had a player that would have helped them. They were legitimately, without a lot of overstatement here, 2 plays away from going to the Super Bowl because they were in the NFC Championship game.
So I don't know if Packer fans would make that trade. I don't know if they'd make that trade. I don't think Packer fans would give up Jordan Love for a T. Higgins for the past 3 or 4 years.
Would you give up Jordan Love for a Super Bowl? because they're two
There's
players
no
away.
guarantee that'd be a Super
They'd have
Bowl.
their first and their fourth, so they could have T. Higgins and a fourth-round pick because they gave up a fourth-rounder for Jordan Love. So that's why I'm not. The actual player is a good pick, but I think overall I'd give this draft a B.
I feel like you could do that with any draft, though.
True, but in this case, they were so
There's
close to
probably
the Super
somebody
Bowl.
that was picked right around Josiah DeGuara, and
True.
he was probably an All-Pro right now.
True,
So
but they were a team
they
that
were
the year
wide
before went
receiver
to the
needy, and they're wide
they
receiver
were at the
needy.
NFC Championship game the year before, and then they get back to the NFC Championship game, and they looked like a team that was legitimately 2 plays away. Tampa, who had aging Tom Brady, said we're going to draft players, and those younger players helped Tampa win the game. I'd give it a B. The overall,
you know what
the overall
hurts
draft,
me?
I
You
give
know
it
what
a B.
hurts the grade too? You didn't get anything out of basically anybody here until this past year.
Yeah, so I would say it's a B draft with the Jordan Love one.
And I think that's that's right. That's the right number. That's the right grade.
Then we go to 2021. Eric Stokes, Josh Myers, Amari Rodgers, Royce Newman. That to me is damn near an F. What, a D?
It's not a. This is a fail.
Yeah.
Granted,
there's
they
no
don't have
redeeming
a lot
pick
of
there.
great picks. You know, number 29, number 62 are tough to hit on because it's basically borderline second and third round picks
Yeah.
instead of first and second.
And Myers is graded as a hit by Matt Schneidman here from The Athletic, but at
I
very
call it
best,
neutral.
he's like a C-level player.
Yeah.
He's average at
this
best.
is an F.
I think
GMs get fired for a draft like that.
Yeah.
All right, and then here's where it gets nice. 2022, Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt. They call them both hits. Wyatt to me is still, I would call, could be like projecting towards a
It's
hit.
still 2022.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Walker
say.
and Wyatt are projecting towards hits. They're definitely not misses.
I would call that a TBD.
Yes. Christian Watson's definitely TBD. Sean Ryan TBD. Romeo Dobbs hit. Zach Tom hit. So I would give this one.
It's an A-minus draft.
Yeah, I was gonna go B+. I'll go A-. I'm good with that.
Because you hit on 2 fourth-rounders there.
And then this 2023, Luke Musgrave, Lucas Van Ness, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, and Kobe Wooden. Those are the top 4 rounds there. The interesting thing for me is Van Ness as a TBD still holds this and it's still very early, so I'd call it a B+, A-.
I don't know if I'd hold this draft the same as 2022. I think 2022 is a better draft than this
2022 in the first 4 rounds, I think, is better. I think what's better about 2023 is Dontavian Wicks in the 5th round. I think if you take the whole draft, I'd give it an A.
This
But
one's just hard because Wicks is
too
still
early.
we don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So let's just call this one a B+.
I would go with that as well.
I'd knock it down to a B if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I don't put a
feel
ton
like-
of stock into the tight end position as well. You know, they were productive, but
Yeah, Musgrave was hurt a lot last year.
hurt a lot. 2 tight ends is a lot to put into a draft. There's no lineman here.
So
what do we got here?
I got 13, so he said 6 drafts divided by 13. He's just over a 2. I just did a 4-point
GPA?
scale, yeah.
So just over a 2, so 2.2,
Yeah.
which I believe is a D?
Well, no, isn't a 2 a C?
Is it 2 a C? Colin, you're still in college. What is the grading scale?
A two
Is low.
2 is
The way
a
I
C
did it is
plus. I think a 2-2 or
Yeah.
2-3 is a C plus.
F is a 0, D is 1, C is 2, B 3, A 4.
Not like
That's how I did it.
If my mother is listening, I would have no idea what a C is on the 4.0 scale.
I think Goody as a C plus, maybe fringe B minus drafter feels right though. That feels right about where he
he
is.
passes the classes, that's for sure.
He's just had a nice little.
I don't think a C is probably fair because you got to think there's Jordan Love is if you want to call him it, Packer fans will. A franchise quarterback. If you nail the franchise quarterback, you're 1 for 1 on quarterback
But
hits.
if you rounded that up,
that's like an honors level course.
True, but if we want to round him up to a 2.5.
Yeah, he's a C plus B minus drafter.
Now he's moving in the right direction, so we can just round it up.
Yeah, that's
with
the
a
thing. Like,
2.5.
he's performing better.
Because even if you wanted to give the bonus, let's say you weight the scale. If we rate the scale and you do the whole thing, then he's a B.
And keep that in mind. 2021 is the year after that COVID year. If you want to call some.
Yeah.
So if we want to weight the
It's a tough
scale
draft.
and kind of
Tough to
grade,
evaluate.
if we
Tough
want to
to
grade him on
evaluate.
a curve, but other
8 games.
other GMs also picked in that draft and came out with players. So I'm going to go with a B. I think that the factors you talked about, Goody as a drafting GM right now is a B.
I would agree with this.
I
B,
think
B minus.
So that's
I'd be okay with a B minus because.
844-770-3776 is how you get into the show.
A lot of receivers.
Bill and Madison on the line.
A lot of receivers.
Hey, Bill.
Oh, hey. Yeah, listening to you might have talked me down, but I'm going to say an A.
Okay.
Just because we're competitive every year. It is so hard to hit. If everyone were to hit, if anyone were to hit on any draft pick, Jerry Jones would pay him $50 million a year. You don't hit on every draft pick. You can't do that. You do the best you can with the information at the time. And, we have a competitive team every year. We didn't think we were going to be competitive last year, and we made the playoffs. And we beat the Cowboys.
Is that Bill? Is that a testament to the coaching staff, or is that more of a testament to Goody's drafting ability, or both? Probably both.
I think it's both. I think it is both. I'll agree with that. It's both, but you have to have the players on the field to coach, and Goody has put the players in the field to compete.
Absolutely, and I think so. Do you think our B is unfair? Because we kind of took into some of the factors, like his actual GPA, if we did it, was like a 2.2, but the Jordan Love factor, add a little weight to that, the COVID year, just the general missing on it.
He got looked, but they got looked at Jordan Love. I mean, let's be real. Like, that's the thing. Like, nobody hits on everybody misses on quarterbacks. Nobody knows what they're drafted. Like, you look at all the first-round quarterbacks for the last 5-10 years, Ryan Russillo talks about all the time, and, people miss all the time.
Absolutely.
And it happens. And, do we get lucky with Jordan Love? Maybe. Did he actually know what was going on? Probably not. But, I'm happy to have him.
Yeah.
And, all the other drafts, like, Van Ness. Like, you look at Rashawn Gary. He didn't look that great the first couple of years.
Sure.
But all of a sudden now we just consider him for a big. Can Van Ness be that guy? Who knows? But it's a crapshoot, and I think he puts us in a good situation. He drafts good players, and I would give him an A.
Bill, I
would give him an A.
And Bill, thanks for the call. I'm not going to fight you on that. The wild thing is, I feel like we had this conversation. If we had this conversation a year ago, nobody's fighting us if we gave him a C, because we didn't know what Jordan Love was going to be, and we didn't know much of anything else either. Like it was very much up in the air. He didn't have this draft he had last year, and so he would have come off of not knowing what Jordan Love was, a bad 2021 draft, and honestly, it's a 2021 draft that just kills him in here, and 2018.
It's interesting. I think it's important to kind of set a definition for how Goody is as a manager and like a manager of players. He plays it 2 or 3 years down the line. Think of these players. Not a lot of these players were first, second, maybe even third-year impact players for the Green Bay Packers. Rashawn Gary, as Bill alluded to, a guy who didn't necessarily get his feet wet until a couple years into the league. Jordan Love, we all know what happened there. A.J. Dillon was a glorified backup for many years. I mean, Stokes was successful, got hurt. You can't really grade that. Christian Watson, a guy who was meant to be a developmental guy. Quay Walker, some of the same. Van Ness, now that's the same boat. There's not a lot of rookie impact players. So that's just how he is as a drafter. He's a developmental person, which is a testament to the coaching staff. Draft projects, trust your coaching staff, give him a couple of years. Goody knows his job is safe. But also, a thing about drafting, too, is hitting on a quarterback is a lot more valuable than hitting on a tight end. There's a couple tight ends here. There's a couple receivers here that are, up and down players. That's hit or missing on a tight end is not the biggest deal in the world. Hitting on a quarterback is the biggest deal in the world, and that's what he did. So that's why you got to give him a little more points on that. There's a lot of receivers here, not a ton of linemen at all. You got to hit on linemen, receivers, and the quarterback.
844-770-3776, how you get into the show. Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and Middleton is Madison's custom jeweler. You can go there and get a custom engagement ring, custom jewelry. You can take maybe an old inherited jewelry that's not your style, have them melted down and make a custom piece for you so you can still remember that person in your life that left you that jewelry, but you can make it fit your style. You also can, Mother's Day is coming up, you can go there and say, this is what I'm looking for Mother's Day. Here's my budget. They're going to give you some great gift ideas, and they'll wrap it up, and you're going to be a hero on Mother's Day, anniversaries, birthdays, push gifts, whatever it is. Great opportunities for you to be a gift-giving star at Chalmers Jewelers. We're going to prospect the Packers coming up next.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Need more of Judgmental Jim? Subscribe to the Rutledge and Hamilton podcast, presented by Revive Restoration, wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Hamilton here to talk about Leinekugels. For close to 155 years, Leine's has stayed true to the Jacob Leinekugel vision for combining the German brewing traditions of his homeland with the innovative spirit of his new home here in Wisconsin. Today, you'll find that spirit alive and well in a wide range of German-inspired beers like IPAs, Weiss, Bocks. They have the delicious Leine's Juicy Peach and the Northwoods Amber. They've got a beer for any moment. Go check out Leine's. Get it wherever you get delicious beers. And remember, you got to be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Why does Kalsher Implement Company Incorporated have several copier printers from James Imaging Systems? President Glenn Whipperford.
Good people, easy to work with, and local.
Talk to me about the James Imaging Systems people.
Greg is our service guy. He's been phenomenal to work with. Andrew,
that's your James sales rep.
He's been great to work with as well.
James Imaging Systems, local people and a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. That means a lot to local businesses.
It definitely means something to me. It's actually the reason why we're still with them.
Glenn, does James Imaging Systems help you keep your customers happy?
Happy customers, yes.
And you've also been a James customer for years, right?
Yes. Happy customers make repeat customers.
Be happy. Switch to copier printers from James Imaging Systems. It's easy to do. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Now's the time to make those big spring purchases at Fleet Farm. Husqvarna mowers, Minn Kota trollers, Goodyear tires. Fleet Rewards credit card members can enjoy special financing for 3 full years on qualifying purchases. So don't wait. There's never been a better time to get everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. 36-month special financing available on in-store purchases of $1,499 or more after discounts made with your Fleet Rewards credit card. Now through May 1st, 2024. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See customer service for details.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. Jim Rutledge, Colin Russo with you. And we have been trying to get a date for Ryan Wollersheim. We are also talking about Goody as a drafter and what do we think about Goody as a drafter. And we're also going to get into prospecting the pros here. We break down players that the Packers might take, and we will get into that here in a second here. Colin, why don't you go ahead and read that Twitter comment there? It's on the monitor right there.
Yeah, I see. Oh, yeah, Matt says he grades him an A, because he's probably in the top 10 to 15% of the league. I assume this is in general managers.
Okay.
And he totally is. I mean, if a general manager has kept his job for more than 5-6 years, I think he's in the top 10, 15% of the league.
But we're not asking him just as a general manager. We're asking as specifically as a drafter.
Yep.
But again, I'm not.
Draft's probably 40, 50% of a general manager's if they screw up the draft, you're out the door pretty quickly. But I also think Gutekunst has a different level of leeway and leash comparatively to most general managers.
Because of the way the Packers just infrastructure is built?
Because they're an exceedingly well-run organization. Top to bottom. Not even just him. Everybody.
I would say for a GM, draft is probably 33%. Free agency being the other 33%, and then just in-season roster management.
Success.
Yeah. Well, there's
coaching.
an aspect where I think Goody does not do well, which is also player personality management.
That's fair. Very fair.
There's a lot of people that leave Green Bay upset.
Yeah.
And that's the Packers in general, so maybe that's not Goody, that's just how they operate.
Yeah, and as long as you get on-field results, if you keep doing that year after year, people will probably look past the personal issues.
I think a big part of it is pleasing the fans and putting butts in seats, and the Packer fans going to show up.
Yep.
And if the Packer fans are succeeding and the fans going to show up, you don't really care.
Yeah. Well, because I just think of Aaron Jones, Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of players on the back end that are leaving. But I will go back to, we talk about the Packers like they're the Patriots. The way getting off a player a year too early instead of a year too late could be the reason why they have one title with Aaron Rodgers and one title with Brett Favre and not multiple. We cannot put the Packers on a pedestal like they are even a team like the Ravens. There are teams that operate better than the Packers, especially when you account for the cheat code they've had with the golden ticket of Willy Wonka with Aaron Rodgers up until this year with Jordan Love, and he obviously had a good year as well. So there are layers to this. If you're grading Goody as a GM overall, I'd give it a B+, because I'm sorry, you have to have maybe even a B. You have to have a title. I don't know, to get the A.
Okay.
Don't you actually have to win the title?
Yeah, I agree with that.
His
you gotta have the quarterback too.
And this year could take him to even if he doesn't win a title, this year could lift him up. But his first year with his roster, they won 9 games. Yeah, we do know that they won 9 games last year. I know they got the playoff game, and that's not nothing. But I very much am your vision has to be it has to go forward to your Jaguars.
You gotta reach the top.
Yeah, your Jaguars success isn't guaranteed. Your Jaguars might have been a better football team last year. They won less games.
There's playoff teams that fire their general managers.
Right. So I would call Goody a B, trending up, with the arrow going up on it. You can get higher, but if you want to call him an A, I'm not going to fight you on it. Let's get to prospecting the Packers.
Should we wait and get prospecting the Packers next segment? We're a little bit over time here. Why don't we kick it to the final segment of hour 1? I was going to get in your ear, but I didn't want to bother you. You were on a roll.
Son of a donkey.
You're on a roll,
All right,
Jim.
Rutledge Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
This is Rutledge Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Watch every show live and for free on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starry on Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starry on Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience by going to starryonbank.com. Member FDIC. More transfer portal news for the Wisconsin men's basketball team as outgoing star sophomore Connor Esijan has announced his commitment to Big Ten foe Nebraska. Esijan burst onto the scene his freshman year in 2022-23, cracking the starting rotation and averaging over 11 points per game as a true freshman. This past season, Esijan saw his minutes dwindle, only averaging 7 per game, and only averaged 3.2 points per game. Esijan entered the transfer portal a few weeks ago and finds his new home, playing for the Huskers.
Get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months. Book before April 30th at PellaWI.com.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
This update is sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
Delta Dental is proud to sponsor Family Sundays at Helfer Field.
Play catch on the field on Sundays from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. prior to Brewers' regular season home games. Admission is free.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Goodman's Jewelers has been providing the sparkle to Madison since 1933. That's a lot of great memories. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. We've been caring for generations of customers, and during that time our strengths have been trust, service, and selection. Those traits are who we are, and that will never change. Goodman's Jewelers, a destination worth reaching. 220 State Street, goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
You ever have one of those days when you just couldn't come up with the right answer? Well, I know one answer that pretty much solves all problems. Ice cream. Yeah, it's the answer to everything, right? And right now, at Quick Trip, our rich, creamy, straight from our dairy, Nature's Touch 1-gallon pails of ice cream are just $4.99. Yeah, now that's an answer worth digging into. Come on, be a problem solver. Bring home some fresh, delicious Nature's Touch ice cream, only from Quick Trip.
As you're putting your spring calendar together, we'd love to have you join us Saturday, May 18th for Mark Osiki's 6th annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. We're on the Madison Chain of Lakes early, then back at the Alliant Energy Center for 2:30 happy hour, dinner, and live and silent auctions with cool autographed hockey items, guided tours, and a brand new fishing boat. There's even more on our website, castingforkids.org. Help us help the kids, castingforkids.org.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Baby, I'm hot like the prodigal son. Big up Bartolini, meeny, money, mo, and flower. You're the chosen one.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that is crush the Coors Light.
Can we get into prospecting the Packers now? Ryan, do you allow this?
I'll allow it, Jim.
All right.
I think it's okay.
And I'm asking you because you have a specific safety that you want to talk about. He is viewed by some as the second best safety in this draft. Others, like the Ringer, as the 69th best prospect.
69. I like that number.
And
why do you think I picked him?
Like you're really helping your dating chances there. And then also I would say he's viewed as like the fourth best safety, but he's a guy that you think the Packers might be into.
So I think he makes sense because, like you said, he's viewed as the fourth best safety by a few mock drafts or a few publications, but this year's safety class is so hit or miss. It's really kind of pick your type of player because there's no guy who's really consensus first-round pick other than DeJean, but he's not really a safety. He's a safety/DB, similar to Javon Bullard from Georgia. He's kind of seen more of a nickel safety, slot corner even, but I think he fits given that they have a set safety in Xavier McKinney now. Maybe Bullard's not the tackler that you would want alongside McKinney, but I think he fits the versatility that Goody always talks about. And then on top of that, we know Goody loves defenders from Georgia. I mean, we just went through his drafts. Quay Walker, Devontae White, Eric Stokes, all first-round picks from Georgia. So if they're going to reach, I mean, I'm not saying it's the best strategy, Jim. I'm just saying, looking at the tea leaves of Goody, seems like a good track record where this might be where they go in the first round.
I don't disagree with your thought process on it. Shades of C.J. Gardner, according to the Ringer. Rare versatility, coverage chops, and got that dog in him. Versatile, high-energy defensive back with experience playing all over the secondary. And then here's what they have to say. Bullard is a compact, muscular build, brings versatile skill sets to the secondary, two-year starter with the Bulldogs, hybrid safety, and slot defender. Why he could rise. Bullard is a highly versatile defender who can line up deep or in the box or in the slot. He's highly intense and has sticky coverage chops. Why he could fall undersized may be considered a tweener. So, Colin, what do you think?
One thing about that is the thing that pops out is the experience. Experience on 2 nationally recognized defenses is very important, I think. And that's a big hit, especially for a team like Georgia when you play in huge games year in and year out. The thing that also you like is obviously the versatility. The guy can play everywhere, and that means you could throw him at nickel corner. It's hard to find nickel corners in the NFL. There's not a lot of good ones. And it sounds like he's not really as free-ranging of a safety as somebody like McKinney. So you have somebody that maybe a little more closer to the line of scrimmage and can play in shorter distances. That's good for McKinney. So because of that, I don't hate the idea at all. But, a lot of these safeties offer a variety of different skill sets. Most of them can tackle. So I think it's going to be a matter of just what direction the Packers go, what direction they think fits with a new defensive coordinator system. Keep that in mind. So because of that, I think that will have a large part to do with where they go, what direction they go, is who they want to work with Halfley. So because of that, it's hard to say. You haven't seen any of this on the field. You don't know what he wants to change. He knows the strengths and defenses and weaknesses way more than we do. But experience, SEC, versatility, and a guy who plays hard checks most of the intangible boxes for a safety in the NFL. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I would say this year's safety class...
It sounds like it's a reach, though.
It's a reach for sure, but, maybe this is a move where they trade back out of the first round. Kind of do what they... Well, I don't want to bring this scenario up.
Oh, yeah,
but
or trade up. Tell us the scenario.
Yeah.
Tell us the scenario going to.
No, I'm thinking of the scenario where they traded out of the first round and took Kevin King with the first pick in the second round and passed on one TJ Watt, who was drafted by the Steelers with the trade they made.
That is the literal poster child for sometimes you want to go get your guy.
Yeah.
Instead of running away from your guy.
But at the end of the day, if Bullard turns out to be a good player and they get him at 40 instead of 25...
You think they said that about Kevin King?
Probably. Yeah, almost definitely.
In the war room?
Yeah, but that was before Goody. That was pre-Goody.
He was part of that war room.
He was part of the war room, but he wasn't at the head of that war room, Jim. He was still taking orders. Now he's giving orders.
Maybe it was his idea to trade back.
Don't put that on him. Don't put that on him.
Actually, I think that was. I think he was saying
it was a fly in the wall.
Yeah.
Guys, what if we just trade back? You could stockpile picks.
As Chris Orr, former Badger, now Baylor defensive assistant, said, the Packers hate the Badger players, so...
What are you trying to say? They should take Travion Blaylock in this year's draft, the safety from the Badgers?
No, I'm just saying that that's why they traded away from TJ Watt, because they're biased against the Badgers.
I just think they had a poor evaluation. Hey, look, 30 other teams had the wrong evaluation about TJ Watt too.
Yeah, but 30 other teams didn't trade out of the pick to take TJ Watt to get Kevin King and Vince Beagle, I guess, to counteract the...
We did get Vince Beagle.
Yeah, great. Come on. That worked out fantastic.
Aside from injuries, he was okay. He was fine. 4th round pick.
How's TJ Watt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim.
Was he two-time Defensive Player of the Year, something like that?
If he's not, he should be. Yeah, he's probably the best defensive player in the last 3 years.
TJ Watt is what Packer fans, or some Packer fans, think Rashawn Gary is.
I don't even think that most delusional Packers fans think Rashawn Gary is TJ Watt.
The way that some of them talk about it, Rashawn Gary has still not reached his potential for where he was picked.
No.
And injury is a major factor in it, but that's football.
Rashawn Gary was also drafted 5 years ago.
It's been a while.
And
At what point does
does
the potential train, run out of steam?
Yeah, $27 million later.
Well, my favorite pressures though. He got the pressures. And my whole point is that if you are going to pay him like he's getting paid, Myles Garrett gets pressures and the actual sacks. You can't just live in the advanced analytics. At some point, the numbers show those pressures turn into sacks.
And it sometimes works. Calais Campbell, it worked, waiting a couple of years. Cameron Jordan's another one. So it's not a foreign concept.
It isn't. It's just people have been anointing him. It's kind of like the LeBron problem I have. It's like people are anointing LeBron James as best ever before he won a title. And the same thing with Rashawn. He's a great pass rusher.
Love living in the moment.
He's never had a double-digit sack. I'm not saying he won't get there in a full season of off-season and recovery, that he won't end up there. But people are trying to anoint him after year 2.
Yeah. He's probably a guy who asks for a lot of Snapchats at the bar. He's not always closing. He's not quite mature enough, Jim. He still needs time. Give him time.
Trying to relate to him.
Yeah. We're 2 peas in a pod, me and that guy.
We might have to have a review of your game with Molly Brown and Maddie Hayes when they're in next. Yeah,
all 22 breakdown.
Yeah, scouting report here. Maybe we'll put on the air tomorrow as we try to raise money for charity of a role-playing scenario where Ryan tries to pick up one of them.
I like that.
Well, no, I don't like that.
It's like our 30 visit, you know?
Our top 30 visit?
Yeah, we got to run you through the ringer here.
We should call it Ryan's bottom 30 visit.
We got to show you're capable.
Yeah.
Listen, like they don't know what they got to make sure that you're capable of having game.
What if they decide that undraftable? What if that's the
Well,
grade?
I think that's a skill issue.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not going to work out well for you. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday, and we will let you know where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes. To celebrate our love for dive bars, me and Matt are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like Bristled Boar Saloon and Grill, Cahoots, London Depot, and New Paradise Lounge.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update, once again brought to you by ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night. Watch nights 1 and 2 of the draft, along with reactions, insight, and analysis from many of your favorite ESPN Wisconsin hosts. ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night streaming the first 2 nights in the NFL Draft on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. But tonight, you can catch Game 2 of Bucks Pacers, tipping off at 7:30 p.m. from Pfizer Forum. Bucks will look to take a 2-0 advantage in the series, but they'll have to do it once again without the services of Giannis Antetokounmpo, as he was officially ruled out for tonight's game earlier this afternoon. Giannis has been out since straining his left calf 2 weeks ago. There's still no determination about his timeline for a return. His next possible chance to return will be in Game 3 of this first-round playoff series when they return to Indiana on Friday. Meanwhile, the Bucks currently still 1.5-point favorites per ESPN bet in tonight's Game 2. Then the Brewers taking on the division rival Pirates in Game 2 of their 3-game road series. That game's tonight at 5:40 p.m. Brewers lost 4-2 last night as they ended their 4-game winning streak, but right-handed pitcher Tobias Myers will be making his MLB debut for the Brewers, who's called up from AAA Nashville yesterday.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got the show.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
People like me.
That's some booty, Jim.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage. I'm just not ready to crown his ass.
I'm ready to crown him.
You're premature.
Premature coronation.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Even if it was like a quote tweet.
I like quote tweets. Facts don't lie. Fluff, 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 fluff. Okay, real, and like I can just see fluff, 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 real.
I don't know what exactly all happened there, but
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Alongside Colin Russo, here's Jim Rutledge.
What is that fluff, fluff, fluff from?
I believe you were talking about all of the kind of BS put out by fake scouts on Twitter one
That's
day.
what it was. I hate Twitter scouts. Hate Twitter scouts.
It's too much of
People
them.
like me.
It's oversaturated.
Yes, because also I refuse to acknowledge you as a Twitter scout unless you have actually been employed by an NFL team in the last 5 years.
Judgmental.
Like going
Jim.
to like scout school and says you can watch film. That means, okay, I get it. You're more advanced than a regular fan, but unless an NFL team...
You also like have never been around players. You don't know character.
Yeah. If a college team paid you to scout too, fine. But otherwise, you're just like... You're basically the equivalent... Like, you're just doing like math. Like, you just learned this and you're doing it. You didn't actually... Nobody paid you... Can't call yourself a scout if nobody's paying you... If ever paid you to be a scout.
Right.
That's all. It's just like a personal thing for me. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Jim Rutledge, Colin Russo with you. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio. The Milwaukee Bucks play tonight on our airwaves. I do think the Bucks are going to win in 6, Brandon Jennings. But tonight's a big one. And, again, you can hear that on ESPN Madison. And also, don't forget to listen to Here District with Marcus Johnson, a weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. The Bucks Plus audio production, Marcus and his son Chris a 1995 UCLA hoops champ himself. Talk about everything happening in the Bucks world, and they're joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. That's with Bucks Plus. But Colin and Prime, you can chime in on this, and then same with the audience as well. 844-770-3776. I want to make our poll question very simple, and it is basically who's the MVP of the game if the Bucks win. 844-770-3776. Like, basically, what's going to happen if they win? Colin, I'll throw it out to you first.
And there's a couple ways you could go with this. Obviously, the shining star of it all is Damian Lillard and making sure he could keep up the scoring. But in terms of who you want role player-wise, it's kind of tough to call him a role player, but that's sort of like what you've been delegated to after Lillard came into play, is I think you need a bit, not just like a good game. I think you need a really good game from Chris Middleton. And, he had a good game last game, sure. But you can't expect what Lillard's going to do. You can't expect that again. Shooting that efficiently and just blitzing them out in the first quarter and giving them no chance to breathe or respond. That team's going to recover a little bit and respond because what have the Pacers been good at all year? They've been good at getting to the basket. Pick and rolls. Halliburton, he moves the ball very well. And they got 2 impact stretch 4, running 5, trailing 5, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be a little more offensive adaptable tonight, I think. And whether that's them shooting the ball a little better or getting to the line or slowing the game down, whatever you need to do, Chris Middleton is going to need to match some of that scoring alongside Damian Lillard. No Giannis. So take away that 35, 40 points with that 20 rebounds. You're going to need somebody who could score 25 plus. It was a little too easy in game 1. I don't anticipate it being easy in game 2. And this is the game that buys you much needed. I'm sure management's thinking this like crazy, and even the coaches. This buys you so much leash with Giannis's timetable if you win tonight and don't flip home court. So that's going to be a huge game, I think, for Chris Middleton.
I like the Middleton pick. It's hard to top what he did for Chris Middleton. 23 points last game out, 10 boards.
Yeah.
Like that is,
it's a good game. You need that.
And that's what they need to get out of him.
25-something points would be, you'd be very happy with that production.
Like, honestly, Lopez gave you exactly what you need out of him. So did Bobby Portis. And obviously, Dame, on the whole, yes, he had the major explosion. He finished with 35 overall. If he gets you 35 again, which that's not crazy, it's just not going to be a 29-point quarter is what you're not going to get. So I like your pick of Middleton. That's probably where I would have gone. I do like for the Bucks. They're one of those older teams that you get this time. So they played Sunday. Now they played Tuesday night. They had like almost a week off. These players are, whether it's for the Giannis being able to recover, but also an older player like Dame. An older player
Age
like
is a
Middleton.
thing. Yeah,
Yes.
it's totally going to catch up to them.
These guys, when you get, and this is a whole thing that I remember even talking about with the Bulls and the Last Dance and in older teams, that because they get the time in the playoffs, it is a different animal. Not only, the Bucks got Dame instead of Drew because you game plan more. You have to have people that can score the ball and separate themselves in this game in the playoffs more than the regular season. The other part of it is you can have an older team in the regular season and then get kind of caught up on your rest and be more dominant than people are expecting in the playoffs because the olds get time to rest a little bit more than normal. At least early. I mean, at some point, the war of attrition might get to them. But for the Bucks, these 2 rounds here before these conference finals, I think could put them in a nice position.
I think that just before Giannis comes back.
Yes.
This is where having a veteran lineup who is rested makes the world of a difference because you're not relying on too much youth. And they know how to play shorthanded. It's when it's the young teams that lose a big-time player that start to panic a little bit. The OKC lost one of their best players. They'd panic a little bit. Though it's different with the Bucks, who have a bunch of guys who have played in a lot of playoff games. So I think that's important to buy themselves that leash with Giannis.
I think Portis is going to have a nice game. I do think he'll make a difference. But if the Bucks win tonight, the MVP, I'm picking Dame Lillard. It's not going to be 35 points. I think it's going to be him flirting with a triple-double.
Really?
He had 6 boards last time, only 3 assists. I think his assists will go up. I think the Pacers are obviously going to try to get him off his shot, try to double.
Faster,
and he is a really smart player. He's a really good passer. So I think by flirting with, I think he'll end up with 7, 8 boards and 11, 12 assists and 25 points.
Lillard shouldn't try to be that volume shooter that he could have been or that he was a lot in Portland, he should try to be that all-around player.
Yes.
Like Giannis is that, but be the all-around, do-everything guy because the ball's going to be in your hand for the majority of the game, and they're going to force you off your spots. Play into that. You know you could get your 25. He's been getting 25 a game for, Lord knows, 10 years. You'll figure it out.
Yep.
So
I mean,
figure
last
out
game,
the other stuff.
I was fine with how it went because he got hot, and then he kind of just, when they started trying to stop him from scoring, he moved the ball around. But this time, I think Dame's going to have a more, I would say less than 30 points, but I think 12, 13 assists and 7-8 boards, and I think he's still going to control the game. I think he is locked in, and I think he has the ability. He's got things going off the court as well, but being able to have time in between every game to kind of set yourself mentally, set yourself physically, understanding what this is what you're brought here for. And also from an athlete's mentality, you're able to kind of tell yourself, all right, we're resetting now. The regular season is over, and he can tell himself it's Dame time, and he knows that this is why the Bucks traded for him. If the Bucks get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but heck, even if the Bucks get out of the first round, they already came out ahead. Now, that's not what they brought Dame here to do, but with Drew, they didn't get out of the first round. And so getting to the second round is step one of already making that trade look better than it does at the moment.
People are talking about, like Drew versus Dame. It's so different because, to your point, you bring Lillard here because you didn't have an offensive closer. Giannis is not an Giannis is a all-time great player. He is not an offensive closer for a playoff team. He never has been. He never will be. His skill set does not allow him to be. He is not a shooter. He cannot create his own shot as easily. He's a slasher. He's an excellent defender. He's not a closer. Damian Lillard is a closer. He's a premier closer. He is an elite guy at creating his own shot, plays in the clutch, temperature turns up when the game's tight. That's the type of guy that the Bucks traded for when they got rid of Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was not a closer. He doesn't need to be in Boston. That's why it works so well. That's why the fan is get the misconception that the trade was bad because Holiday walked into a perfect situation. He walked into a team that needed guard defense and has already established stars with a great defensive scheme and a tough home court. Perfect. Walks right into it, fits like a shoe. So for Damian Lillard, you need to be a closer when they ask you to be, and you need to get your teammates involved. And that is getting Portis, Brook Lopez, Chris, Middleton. All three of them need to be on the upper echelon of their impact tonight.
844-770-3776. Who will be the MVP of the game if the Bucks win tonight? Prime, who's your vote?
I got to roll with Colin. I think it's Chris Middleton because I think him hitting shots, he hit, 64% of his shots in game one? He's not going to do that again. But if he can hit at least 50, look like vintage Chris, take some of that offensive scoring pressure off of Dame,
He has to shoot more, too. Lillard scoring all that points in the first half, You're going to be asked to shoot a little more to create runs and everything like that.
And Bobby was Sixth Man of the Year, but, you could probably get 15 points per game out of him, but Chris is going to need to be putting up 20 to 25 a night. And I think that pick and roll and him working with Dame, that could be the key to the series because they don't have the size advantage that they would if they had Giannis.
It's a great point, and it's good to bring up the fact that the Pacers are so good at going to the paint and scoring efficiently because they run an elite pick and roll game with Turner and Siakam, and they have a handful of shooters on the outside and a playmaking point guard. The Bucks without Giannis, that was what the nerve-wracking part coming into the series was how can they establish their interior defense without one of the best interior defenders in the league in Giannis? They've shown they could do that. They showed they could push them off their game a little bit. Pacers are going to adjust. Can they respond even further? That's the key to the game.
We're going to throw some stones next.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and two-time 2024 National Curling Champion Matt Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Glenn Whipperfirth is the president of Kalsher Implement Company, Incorporated. Glenn, you've had copier printers from James Imaging Systems for years. Question, Glenn, is James just a vendor or more like a partner?
I would say partner in the fact that they're looking at what we're doing and trying to work with us to make it simple for us.
Making it easy, keeping it simple. That's James Imaging Systems Managed Print Services Program.
Yes. So we have a monthly contract, and then they manage our inventory as far as our toner and equipment for the copier machine.
Exactly. All your copier printers bundled under one low monthly invoice from James Imaging Systems. And that includes parts, service, and supplies. And that has its benefits, Glenn.
The benefit is that we have the supplies when we need them, and it keeps our business flowing.
Make it easy, keep it simple with the Managed Print Services Program from James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday, and we will let you know where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes. To celebrate our love for dive bars, me and Matt are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like Bristled Boar Saloon and Grill, Cahoots, London Depot, and New Paradise Lounge.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda Service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Transform your home with Ridgetop Exteriors. With over 22 years of service excellence, we specialize in roofing, siding, windows, doors, and gutters. Visit us today at ridgetopexteriors.com. That's ridgetopexteriors.com. Find your trusted, local, affordable partner here at Ridgetop Exteriors.
Welcome back to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Jim Rutledge, Colin Russo with you. Matt Hamilton competing in Sweden. And we will hear from him on Tuesday of next week. Then he's around for the foreseeable future. Is that right, Primetime?
He's actually going to be back on his show, Jim. Can you believe it?
We have to get to know each other again.
Yeah, honestly, yes. When he called in yesterday, I barely recognized his voice. It's like, who is this? You must, gosh, man, put down the cigarettes. But it's very clear that we need Matt Hamilton back just for the vibes. Today in the office, without him around, it just feels a little low. It's not quite the same without our guy.
Mr. Matt Hamilton. Shout out to Matt and his sister Becca. They are wearing jerseys for Team USA that have the ESPN Madison logo on it.
Really?
That was his choice, and he has... Okay. Dude, is Colin not on the team? Is not on the group text?
You're not in any of the group chats, are you, Colin? None of the official ones, I'll say.
Damn. Let's kick Strofe out and put Colin in.
Honestly, that's a good point. We have a few people who are no longer
totally
in this
gonna hang
office.
around. Stay Pats is welcome on that in those chats.
He's going to be the one probably peppering it in with stuff.
Yeah, irrelevant things.
He's going to linger.
Irrelevant things.
No idea. Irrelevant.
All right, let's throw some stones.
Guys think they have the answers to everything.
I'm the best there is.
People like me.
So it's time to put them to the test.
That's some booty, Jim.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yeah, guys, we all know that sticks and stones may break our bones, and apparently there's one NFL team who might want to break their franchise. Now, Jim, you brought this up to me earlier today, actually, but apparently the Chargers' odds to draft a quarterback went from 100 to 1 yesterday to up to 6 to 1 today.
6 to 1?
In the first round with their first round pick.
With their first overall pick to pick, what, I believe they're at number 5 currently.
Get rid of Herbert and steal a second pick?
I believe so. Now, Jim, you mentioned that there was an article that came out recently with some rumors about possibly the Chargers drafting a quarterback.
No. That is a lot. I made up the rumors.
Oh.
So it was the line that gave me the rumors, that gave me the idea of, like, could the Chargers move Herbert to the Vikings? And the Vikings have 2 first-round picks this year, maybe a first-round.
Is Herbert? I think Herbert's worth more than that, right?
So 3 first-rounders and Jordan Addison, excuse me.
Never mind. That's a pretty good deal.
All right,
and then Harbaugh could get his hands on McCarthy.
Exactly. So
and I'm not saying it's the right pick. I'm just saying it's not an insane.
I just think getting rid of a guy who's signed, who's been there, and is in his prime for the 4th best quarterback in the draft just because your head coach, who's been living in an RV in Inglewood, tells you to.
The quarterback thing, I mean, the head coach believes he's the best quarterback because he said that out there. So if you're in Jim Harbaugh's
nobody
demented
believes
mindset,
no, nobody believes that in the building. Nobody in the building would believe that.
He would.
I think you'd lose if you're Harbaugh. You'd be worried. I mean, he wins everywhere and he's garnered a lot of respect, but you'd be nervous being in that building. What if you're a Herbert guy in that building? All of a sudden he's gone and pretty boy J.J. McCarthy rolls in with his fancy head coach because they won games with Michigan.
If Herbert comes into the NFC North, though, with the Vikings, the NFC North might be the best division of football very quickly.
Now, this is why Jim created the rumor, because now this is what he wants.
Well, you could get to, without a ton of crazy projection, that Jordan Love could be battling, instead of battling Jared Goff to be the best quarterback in the league in 2 years, with Caleb Williams sneaking up on it. It's not crazy that he could be battling Jared Goff to see who the worst quarterback in the NFC North is, with Herbert and Caleb Williams and the projections that most people would put on Caleb.
The NFL would run through the NFC and AFC North.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
But it also would give something that Aaron Rodgers had, and so did Brett Favre had, that I think would make life way harder on Jordan Love and make his legacy harder to be able to reach the status of Rodgers and Favre. And I'm not saying it's why they did this, but they played in soft divisions. They had no true foil ever, really, during their time running the North. They had no true consistent foil. If the Vikings got Herbert and Caleb Williams turns out to be what many people think Caleb Williams is going to be, the Packers will have a foil, which they've never had.
Well, you know what an all-time bad beat would be? They still got Arizona there, sitting there at 4, and I know the Minnesota is their top contender to take that pick. What if, they made that trade, Las Vegas comes rolling in at number 4, takes their guy?
They take Penix. That's probably their guy if they're taking one at 4. Over McCarthy, I think so.
Just to spite Jim Harbaugh, though? You take McCarthy?
Take McCarthy.
I think the Chargers don't make that trade until...
See, that's crazy. You get that 10-minute timer, and then you got to trade Justin Herbert, and you'd already have it set.
I do remember this from the Chicago side of things, that the Bears had a trade worked out with the Giants that basically said, if Justin Fields is available, when you pick, we'll pull the trigger on this trade immediately. So the trade was worked out in theory, and it had to be, the only caveat in it was that if Justin Fields is available. So I would imagine the Chargers could work out the same trade. And that could be, again, to go full-on sports conspiracies, which I think these are fun. Real-life conspiracies are dangerous. But, sports conspiracy, maybe someone's catching the wind that there is a trade in place between the in
Vegas
theory.
knows. That's a Vegas line. That's 6 to 1.
ESPN bet person.
ESPN bet.
Vegas knows.
So, like, that would be someone's catching wind of there's a trade in principle out there.
Still 6-1 odds, so it's still
All right,
pretty long.
That's three.
I agree.
3 first-round picks in an offensive-heavy first round.
It could be
with a quarterback already set.
It could be 6-1 odds because you just don't know, to Colin's point, if McCarthy fell.
Fair. I mean, he'll be there at 4. He will I think he will definitely
The
be
Chargers
there
pick
at
at
4.
5, so.
We'll see.
So if he falls
you
to
need to
5,
wait till that 4th pick is
If he falls to 5, I almost would. It feels like it's 2-1 if he falls to 5.
We'll see. We'll see. But there's another conspiracy theory floating out around there about why the Lakers lost last night. This conspiracy theory courtesy of one LeBron James. Why don't you guys listen to his post-game comments?
Of course, it's a heartbreaking game. You'll never want to lose in that fashion. I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. I've said it. I think I said it this year or last year, whatever. D'Lo clearly gets hit in the face on a drive. What the do we have a replay center if it's going to go? It doesn't make sense to me. It bothers me. Sorry I didn't answer your question, but that is like. And then I just saw what happened with the Sixers Knick game too. What are we doing?
Now that sound there at the end was him dropping the mic. So Jim Rutledge, why don't you pick that mic up? What do you think about what LeBron James had to say after their loss last night?
I mean, in the history of the NBA, has there been a greater player who's been a bigger whiner for his entire career? Not only a whiner, but a flopper. My favorite videos on social media right now, and it's not going to be exactly what you think it is, it's juxtaposing Kobe Bryant playing through, like, getting knocked over, getting knocked down, and LeBron James. And LeBron James falling and flailing and making him a big theatrical thing out of every single time he drives to the basket. And it is so rich that LeBron James is whining about calls. He gets every call. And that's not the reason why you blew a 20-point lead. You blew it because you're old and not as good as you used to be.
Jim hit the smaller scope what happened yesterday stuff. Let's just think about it 2 seconds. To build on that idea that LeBron, who is a all-time great American athlete, not even just a basketball player, an American athlete, an icon, the whole bit. One of the biggest finger pointers in NBA history. Think about it. Whenever his team, he's been on 3 different teams. Whenever the team loses, it's coach's fault. Whenever he loses, it's his supporting cast's fault. And whenever because don't believe anybody else, he is the general manager of the team. He's bigger than the franchise he plays for. He's almost bigger than the NBA itself. He controls what team he plays for. He controls the supporting cast around him. And he controls the coaching staff. You don't think he wanted to bring in Ham? You don't think he wanted to bring in Ty Lue, David Blatt? You don't think he wanted to keep them around?
I thought he's more of a chicken guy, honestly, not a ham guy.
Yeah, Ryan. Point is, all of a sudden it was 68-48.
Wow.
In the third quarter. You blow a 20-point lead. You miss a shot point blank, top of the key, 3-pointer tied at 99 with 17 seconds to go.
After you push someone off.
After a push off like Contavious Caldwell-Pope, you miss it point blank. They come down, they hit a game winner over your best defender. And
Your
him and Davis.
guy.
Davis was doing the same thing too.
Yeah.
Davis was like being so short-winded about his responses, acting like he was all pissed off. You're not pissed off, acting like because it was the refs. Them in that locker room probably complaining about the refs. All that garbage. When they blew the lead, Davis didn't take a shot. He started the game 13 of 14 from the field. He finished 14 of 19. So he won 1 of 5 in the last 8 minutes of the game.
They're going to get swept again.
Yeah.
They lose the same way every time. It is so funny.
Honestly, I went to bed and they were down 20, and I'm like, I still think Denver's going to make a game of this. And when I woke up, looked at my phone, I laughed because then I saw the final score of it. The Lakers are just a collection of crybabies, and Laker fans and LeBron fans.
It reflects LA so much.
They're gonna go out there and they're gonna champion just like they did last year. Like we got swept, but they were close sweeps, and we lost to the eventual champion.
You've never seen a sweep so close, Jim. Darren Ravel.
It's a big uncovering that they find out when you're the 7th seed in the NBA, you play a contender in the first round.
But watch it, if the Denver Nuggets win the title, Lakers be like, I feel like we're the second best team though.
Crowd themselves.
People defending LeBron will be like, well, he played the champion in the first round. The team wasn't good enough to get a good seeding in the NBA playoffs. What about that?
Yeah. Well, you guys.
Biggest finger pointer ever.
LeBron, one of the GOATs. I had 2 GOAT LeBron haters on today's panel, but I got to give it to Colin Russo for this one. I like the approach. Build LeBron up, one of the greatest American athletes of all time, just to say, what a whiner, a loser,
God, he's done
not
it all
achieving
throughout
his
his
potential.
career. And I understand, like, you got a target on your back wherever you go.
It's got to be
But
rough for
my
a guy like him.
God, it looks pathetic. Can't ride it Adam Silver every step of the way. Can't do it.
Congratulations on being a winner. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Over $40 million this year in jackpots alone at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Over $1 million last weekend won at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Basically, every weekend there is over $1 million in jackpots at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We're going to talk to Jason Wilde next.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
The Club at Lac La Belle is the birthplace of golf in Wisconsin, with a rich history you will feel once you arrive. Experience a round at the Club at Lac La Belle. The historic course is open to the public 7 days a week starting Sunday, May 5th. Schedule your tee time today at clubatlaclabelle.com. This is a golf destination that you will want to play over and over again. Enjoy fine dining and event space after your round. An historic past meets a vibrant future. Go to clubatlaclabelle.com to start your journey.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame Dollar Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show. Presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube by searching Thanalysis Show.
Are you looking for a fast-paced job in a fun and exciting work environment? Look no further than Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. We offer a wide range of job and shift availability in both part-time and full-time positions. Competitive wages and great benefits await you at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Visit us in person or check out our website to see all of our job openings. Make work fun and apply for a job at Madison's only casino.
Welcome back to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership. 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
I'm not in a mood for drama tonight, Jason.
Why are you always trying to stir stuff up, Jason?
Is on Rutledge and Hamilton.
I don't know if I will go as far as you will.
With Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
All right, boys.
All right.
Take care. Be good.
Presented by Coors Light.
Jason Wilde joins Rutledge and Hamilton. No Hamilton. Have Colin Russo in Hamilton's place. Hamilton is with his sister in Sweden competing in mixed doubles in the World Championship, and he's rocking an ESPN Madison logo on his sleeve. So shout out to Matt for doing that. Jason, how are you doing today?
Did we have to pay for that, like a NASCAR logo on one of their cars, or? How did that work out?
I don't believe so. I think Matt, the way he presented it, now maybe he went above our pay grades, but the way he presented it is that he just decided he had room and he wanted to give some love to ESPN Madison. He couldn't do it with Team Schuster, but he could do it with his sister. She approved it as well.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm glad. Is it Alex Strouf's face next to the ESPN Madison logo since he's leaving us and we're saying farewell to him?
That's irrelevant.
Isn't that ridiculous? The multiple farewell parties. You'd think this guy was a Hall of Famer batting .350 for his career.
You'd think he was dying.
Yeah. He's moving down the road, Jason. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm Team Russo on this. I mean, it's not like he took a job with ESPN National. He's moving to Bristol. Like, he's moving like 78 miles away, and we're all still going to talk to him. So right. I agree. I'm happy for him. You know, I've talked many times about how we're lucky to have such young talent with Wooly and Strouf and Colin. I mean, and Hunter. We got a great young group. So it's good to be, kind of like Goody. We got a really young team that you have your growing pains, right, Wooly? And then you get on the other side of them, and then you've got some really talented young people. So I wish Strouf the best, and I look forward to talking to him when I'm on KBN on a regular basis.
Yeah, honestly, it'd be more life-changing for him if he had moved to Green Bay. Like, that would have been a further move away than it would have been for him to go to Milwaukee like he's doing.
He could live with his parents.
Right, exactly.
Perfect.
Jason, you mentioned Goody and the draft here, and Colin and I went over this earlier, and I'm sure you and Tausch have done this as well. But, like, on the whole, like, I would give Goody a grade B+ as a drafter. And, he's had some real bad ones. He's had this last one we assume is good, but it's only 1 year in. Some of the players we love might not, turn out to be completely as Colin will tell you as a Jaguars fan. I mean, the way that Jaguars fan felt about their team and Trevor Lawrence 2 years ago is exactly how Packer fans probably feel about Jordan Love and their team right now. It's never guaranteed. But what grade would you give Goody as a drafter for his entire career as the GM of the Packers?
Yeah, I think his grading is a little bit like the Packers as a team last year, right? They started 2-5.
Yeah.
And then they went 7-3 in the last 10, won a playoff game. Like, you look back on his drafts, the 2018 draft, the only one left is Jair Alexander, who was, as we know, a bit of a malcontent last year, got himself suspended. But more importantly, like, a bunch of those other picks in the 2018 class, you should at least have one or two other guys still on your team. But I read through the names, Josh Jackson in the second round. Oren Burks is still playing in the league, just not with them. MVS got a couple of rings with the Chiefs, but the only one left on the roster is Jair. The 19 draft, Rashawn Gary, who, I'm going to be graceful with him because I did not think he was as good as Tausch thought he was going into the 2022 season, but when he tears the ACL, I'm going to give him a slight pass for not kind of regaining that on the verge of elite status last season. But I have high expectations from this season. And then they've got Elton Jenkins, who was a really good offensive lineman for them. But that's all they have left from that draft. So we keep looking, you keep scrolling up, and then you got 2020's draft where you got Jordan Love and you got A.J. Dillon. And you didn't even want A.J. Dillon, but nobody else wanted him either. And so you're able to get him back on the cheap, right? Those are the first three drafts that he had, not great. And then 2021, Eric Stokes has had all kinds of injury issues. I don't think he played that well as a rookie to begin with. We're sitting here talking about how they're going to need to draft the center because they're not going to re-sign Josh Myers. Amari Rodgers was terrible. They've basically got Isaiah McDuffie, who is a sixth-round pick and probably will start at middle linebacker. They got T.J. Slayton, who they like on the defensive line. And they got Royce Newman, who is still on the team, not sure how. So those first 4 of his 6 drafts, that's like a D, isn't it?
Yeah,
if we're being fair.
Yeah.
Jason, I want to ask you this as well. Like, it's a bit to the testament to how good the Packers organization as a whole, top to bottom, is ran comparatively to the rest of the league. You know, they trust their guys. They trust their developmental system. They have a good management system. It's fascinatingly well run comparatively to most NFL teams. You after the drafts that we just named, I'm not going to say fireable, but like a lot of GMs would not have that type of leeway to get 4 drafts where there's a lot more misses than hits comparatively to what Goody gets. And I think that's a testament to how good the Packers were. They were lucky because they had, quote unquote, a golden ticket in the Aaron Rodgers, keeping them afloat.
Well, that's it.
That's
right.
the whole reason. You got to hit with the one position. You got to hit the quarterback.
Right. I mean, having Rodgers allows you, when Rodgers was at the peak of his powers, and obviously 2022 he didn't play well, and they now have moved on from him, and they're happy with Jordan Love. But those 4 drafts that I named, they were in the NFC Championship game in 19, they were in the NFC Championship game in 20, and they were the number 1 seed in 2021, in large part because Rodgers won 2 of his 4 MVPs, and he was able to erase a lot of those misses. Now, in fairness to Goody, the 2022 draft, you know, I'm still not sold on Quay Walker, I'm still not sold on Devontae Wyatt, and I'm still not sold on Christian Watson. But I still think there's hope for all of them to be good players. I think Romeo Doubs has shown that his floor is that he is a serviceable NFL starter at wide receiver. And I think Zach Tom has shown that he's a top-flight tackle in this league. And Rasheed Walker is going to have an opportunity to prove that he belongs at left tackle and they don't need to draft someone. Whether or not they do in the next few days, we'll have to wait and see. But to your point, the grade goes up because of the last 2 drafts. But Goody admitted it yesterday that maybe we see this past draft the way we do because they got so much more opportunity than previous drafts have, right? So many of them got to play right away. So maybe that skews our perception, and we'll have to wait and see how they parlay their success during the second half of last season into greater success moving forward.
Jason, I wanted to talk with you about, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers and the great, obviously he just covered so many warts with the team, but he did fall. And I was going to ask you, because I want to tie it to possibly the Packers here, but when he slipped, obviously I think Jeff Tedford and kind of the stink around Tedford not developing quarterbacks from college was part of it. Was there a talk about Aaron Rodgers and his personality or overconfidence? Was that any, looking back on any of the reason that he fell?
I don't think so. I mean, I maybe a little bit, but I think the Tedford thing, I think, his level of experience, he wasn't at, what was he at Cal, 2 years?
Yeah.
He had the year at Butte College. I think there was more of a projection there, and I think that some teams got a little bit of cold feet that way. I definitely think, the way he carried the football up by his ear hole, the way Tedford taught his guys, some questions about his mechanics were part of it. I do think that there were some teams that he did rub the wrong way. I remember there being reports of that. But I don't, again, I think that's a position where you have to be cocky. One of my favorite college players of all time, because I spent so much time with, a connection to Oregon, is Marcus Mariota. Yeah. I mean, he was an outstanding college quarterback. He won the Heisman. I mean, he was great. He was a great, really beloved teammate, beloved in Eugene and throughout the state of Oregon. And he got to the NFL, and he did not have the, what do you want to call it, swagger? I'm not cool enough to call it swag or anything like that. But he just, there wasn't that it factor with him. And I do think that with Rodgers, even if he rubbed people the wrong way, remember, this is the guy who went to Paradise Valley High School, and when they asked, what are you going to bring to our school, his response to the principal or whatever as he was trying to get enrolled was, I'll make your sports teams better. So he never lacked for confidence, even going back to high school. And even when he had to, have to stop at a junior college on his way to Division I. So maybe that rubbed some people the wrong way, but I would also argue that it didn't really rub many people the wrong way until, the later years when he had success and he was, showing up teammates and throwing his arms up in the air and all that kind of stuff.
So I wanted to follow up with that part of it. So I was listening to the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder. They had Caleb Williams on there, and he was talking about the way he emulates his game, and honestly, the way just when I was listening to him, the way he talked, it reminds me more of Rodgers when he was chatting with you than the insane Aaron Rodgers now, thankfully. But it was, and he compared it to how Kobe took to the point of emulating everything about Jordan, and obviously he had to make it his own over time. But I just find it fascinating that the assumed number 1 overall pick, the future franchise QB for the Bears, is a guy who, playing style, personality-wise, and he's open about it, has just copied Aaron Rodgers to a T, and it's mind-blowing to me, one, that Aaron is old enough to have a player that is now growing up loving him and then trying to copy him, but then two, that the quarterback for their rival, the team that Aaron Rodgers owned, could be in theory saved by a guy who is trying to mimic Aaron Rodgers the best way possible, and I think that could be really interesting over the years.
I agree, and look, I understand, and I have some of those same feelings about the things that he says now. You know, I do still, we've talked about this before, you know, I have a long history with him. I still care about the guy. I don't understand the place that he's in his life right now and some of the things he believes and some of the things he chooses to talk about. But if you talk to Jordan Love, he would tell you that Rodgers has been absolutely fantastic to him. And maybe in part that's a function of everything he dealt with Favre and how poorly he was treated. Maybe that's a function of, because we saw it with Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle in New York last year, like, you know, he's disconnected from his family, so maybe there's a brotherly surrogacy there where he wants to be the older brother to those guys. But regardless of how you feel about some of the, in my opinion, wacky things that he says, no matter how you feel about that, the guys that play with him and are around him and emulate him from a much closer proximity than Caleb Williams is being able to, because he's not on his team, they all rave about him. And how many times when you were watching Packers games did you see the television broadcast pull up a clip of Rodgers doing something and then run something that Love had just done in that game, and it looked exactly the same, right? So, you know, if I'm a Bears fan and I hear Jim Rutledge talking about how, you know, Caleb Williams is talking about emulating Aaron Rodgers, even if you're cringing about some of the other stuff that's gone on in recent years, you should be head over heels. If he can successfully do that to the degree that Kobe Bryant did with Jordan, like, you know, Sydney's 13, she's a basketball player, among other things, but I send her these clips from different things that Kobe talked about in retirement or even during his career that I find incredibly inspirational.
Yeah.
And so if that worked for him to follow Jordan, then if it works half as well for Caleb Williams following Rodgers, then you're going to be an awfully happy Bears fan.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about everybody knows, but there's a different Aaron Rodgers on the field as there is Aaron Rodgers with a camera in his face. And the same could be said about Michael Jordan as well, however you want to view that.
Yeah.
And I think Kobe did a good job. And, you know, you got to see if there's a guy to emulate on the field and as a teammate and as a guy in the locker room, I think Aaron Rodgers is up there. You know, Jason, with the draft coming up this weekend, Packers 11 picks. We could assume that could be 13, 14 picks, or that could be 7 or 8 picks. You know, people grade these picks as hit or miss. In your eyes, you know, a couple 5 picks, I believe, in the first 2 days. How many hits would the Packers need to get this weekend in order to satisfy you?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to replicate what he did last year because you look at, and again, it's only 1 year or only one season that these guys played, but you feel like there's a lot of hits in there. And I think they need to do that on the defensive side of the ball, frankly. They've got a lot of needs over there. They need a safety. They need more corners. They need a linebacker. They always need edge rushers. They got 2 defensive linemen, including Kenny Clark, who are going into the last year of their deal. So they've got a lot of needs on that side of the ball. I mean, if you can get 3 hits out of those 5, 60% would be fantastic. But again, you know, we probably don't want to judge them immediately. At the same time, I think it's really interesting that Goody, you know, he's got the ammunition that if he really wants to make a splash, he can go up pretty high with what he's got to work with. I just don't. I did not get the sense from our Q&A session with him yesterday. I think he really wants to keep all 5 of those picks. I don't think he wants to come out of, you know, the first 2 days having only picked 3 guys or 4 guys. And to your point about the 11, he said he would love to get to 13 or 14 picks, so he has that many more swings at the plate. But there are, I'm not a baseball expert, but there are better pitches to swing at than others, right? And you may get 14 swings, but if you're chasing balls out of the zone, that's not a quality at bat. And he wants to make sure that those first 5, which are clearly opportunities to have quality at bats, that he gets quality players out of them.
I like that baseball analogy. Jason, thank you for hopping on with us.
All right, fellas. Take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. You can hear him with Wilde and Tausch. You can listen back Wisconsin on Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. Brought to you by our good friends at Revive Restoration. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Need more of Judgmental Jim? Subscribe to the Rutledge and Hamilton podcast, presented by Revive Restoration, wherever you get your podcasts.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday, and we will let you know where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes. To celebrate our love for dive bars, me and Matt are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like Bristled Boar Saloon and Grill, Cahoots, London Depot, and New Paradise Lounge.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you outdoors because we get you. Whether you're ready to build your dream yard or get out on the water, we get you the right products at the right prices. Right now, Rewards members get a free $15 Blaine's gift card with $100 spent on Scotts products. Like select Scotts Rapid Grass or Turf Builder Grass Seed, $10 off. Scotts Turf Builder Lawn Food, $49.99 after sale and rebate. And Scotts Grub X Grub Killer, $24.99 after sale and rebate. We get you outdoors because we get you at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Yeah.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Jim Rutledge, Colin Russo with you. Matt Hamilton is in Sweden curling. We've asked a couple questions today. First one was, how would you grade Goody as a drafting GM? And right now, 71% of you go with a B. So resounding B for him.
Not a lot of A's, which I'm surprised about.
Yeah, I think that's a fair number. C and D, F are pretty insane. A, I think he's trending that way, but I think he's got to get one more in there. And then we also asked, as the Milwaukee Bucks are coming up on our airwaves pretty soon here, and we are the home of the Milwaukee Bucks, who needs to be the MVP for the Bucks tonight if they're going to win? 54% of you say Dame. 29% of you say Chris Middleton, 8% Bobby Portis, and 7% Brooke Lopez. And I like all of those picks. It's going to be a team. Like, Pat Bev is going to have to bring the same energy and be the same type of player. I think you could get a little bit more out of Beasley, a little bit more. A.J. Green missed every shot he took.
You're not going to be able to blitz Indiana as much as you did last time.
Yeah,
that's just the truth.
They were overwhelmed, but I'll tell you this. I've been in a decent amount of stadiums. Pfizer Forum is right up there as far as a loud place to play.
Is it that much better than the Bradley?
Oh, yes. The Bradley Center was an old hockey arena and so the acoustics of it
makes a world of difference.
Yeah, it didn't work. The Pfizer is designed to be loud. It's designed to be a basketball stadium, and those things work. And then the fans. And there is a little something to this because of the little lack of buzz for round one. The tickets and the secondary marker weren't as high. So you're getting a lot of more
fans that aren't priced out, the truer fans.
Yeah. Or if we get even truer.
A lot of people say that about Knick games, too.
Yeah.
Is like,
but also like the fans that are like, this is the one game I get to go to this year. So I am locked in start to finish. Mm-hmm. So even if the ones who are buying the tickets and spending tens of thousands of dollars, they might be true fans as well. But they know, like, all right, I'll catch the next playoff game, or I'll catch the next round. These fans get it because the NBA Finals obviously priced a lot of people out, and the Pfizer was off the chain during the NBA Finals. But these ones, it's like, I'm going to one Bucks game, maybe in the next 3 years. This is it. I'm leaving here hoarse.
Yeah.
And I want this team to win. And I think that desperation from the fans helps the players more than anything else. You're right. Madison Square Garden's had that problem. A lot of places. Chicago had that problem for a while. The fans do get priced out. And I do think that in the Bucks case, the fans make a difference there. It is loud. And today they're wearing all white shirts from Jockey. It's actually a cool logo on it. There's like a Bucks.
They don't do that enough nowadays. They used to do that all the time, like 2013, 14. They just had the same colored shirts and everything. That used to be great.
Well, also because they'll claim like a whiteout, like the Badgers will do it, but then maybe they do it for the student section, but everyone else is like, yeah, but bring your own white shirt.
Or bring your red shirt.
Yeah, like red out, whatever they want to do it, but they don't actually like provide you with the shirt. So shout out to the Bucks for that.
You know what it is? The Miami Heat ruined it. All those whiteouts they have, all the people showing up in their white linens, the 50 fans,
and also
50%
they would
of
leave
fans were there.
The 50 plus, 50%
they would leave,
of fans.
That's an overrated fan base. Yeah, they would leave with 8 minutes left. Oh.
Yeah, another thing LeBron James ruined, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Quick
finger
question
pointing
for you guys.
He'd point the finger at the fans if he lost the game because they left early.
Will the Badger basketball team be able to field a team next year? Because literally every recruit they've been tied to has gone somewhere else at this point. Are we worried about that?
It's a burning building with no fire insurance.
I like that analogy. We'll talk maybe about that tomorrow. Hopefully a big Bucks win and the draft inches closer. This has been Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. You're probably being overwhelmed with information about semaglutide, the game-changing